Life insurance companies can protect your wealth from downside market losses while helping you grow it like it was in the market. I always think today is better than tomorrow in life when you're pursuing anything. Today is better tomorrow. In 2022, when the markets were really bad, none of my clients lost a cent due to the market downturn. But as markets started improving in 2023 and 2024, they got growth as if they'd been in the market, but they never had to take the losses from the bad year. The Richest Man in Babylon, I think the best book ever written on building wealth. It's conceptual, very easy, and it's a fun read. It's kind of almost told like biblical parables.
It's you sitting down with your loved one and just saying, this is where we want to be in the future. Now that you know where you want to be, let's get you there. This is High-End Homes Handled Right. This is the Real Property Management Luxury Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Lyndel Johnson. Today, we have another great guest. We have Mr. Neal Grant from World Financial Group. How you doing, Neal?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. You know, we're, almost towards the end of the year. And, financial literacy is something that, people start to really dig into. The year is over and they're thinking about the finances. Where did I spend my money? And I got to buy Christmas gifts and I just don't know what I'm going to do. Finance. I wanted to have you on this show today because usually we talk about, investing in properties, investing in real estate. But I want to make sure that all our guests and everyone who watches this show, they just know of just different things they can do with their money. If they have great returns, maybe then they can invest in that property. But, Neal, tell us about, what you do.
Well, primarily it's financial literacy, but we also help people with tools more on the life insurance side. And there's a reason for that because life insurance companies can protect your wealth from downside market losses while helping you grow it like it was in the market.
Okay, let's dig into that. So, let's just say someone has their money and, a lot of people get the 401k from their office and they think, oh, yeah, I'm covered. I've got a 401k. What do you guys do different? What do you see with the returns to, putting it in insurance?
Sure. Well, the first thing is I think that a lot of people have a 401k, kind of like you said, and they think everything's going to be fine. I have a 401k, but is that really the truth? If you look up online, the median savings that somebody has in a 401k, it's under $100,000. There's no age bracket, no 10-year span of age bracket that any group has a median savings in a 401k of more than $100,000. Wow. So, is that really going to be adequate? And I guess that would ultimately depend on your goals. Although, if you have under $100,000, I don't know, maybe you're going to go live on an island by yourself somewhere, if that's your goal. But I think people, we're kind of taught when we go to school, I think just to go, hey, just go and we'll give you everything you need. We'll give you all the knowledge. We'll tell you everything. You don't need to worry about anything else. The answers we say are right are the right answers. And I think it kind of conditions people. They don't really think inherently because they've been trained. Many people just don't think beyond that. And here's a question I'd ask is, how does it seem to you that people are doing when they only have a 401k?
I've seen it where, I've had clients who have gotten to the retirement age and they try to, they pull from the 401k and they realize that, hey, now I'm 4 or 5 or less than that years in of my retirement. I have to do something else. I need to go to HEB or I need to go to Walmart or I need to do, I may have to get another job. And that's what you don't want to happen. And I've seen where there's just an unexpected death that occurs in the family.
Sure.
And the person that may have passed away was the breadwinner at the time.
Yeah.
Wife, kids, mortgage. And then what happens?
Yeah, absolutely. It totally unravels the plan.
Absolutely. They went from, going to Disney World and having vacations to now, how long are we going to be able to keep this house?
Yep.
And that's a horrific thing for families to go through. So I am happy that you're here and be able to, at least talk to some someone out there that's really going through something right now and thinking, okay, what else can I do with my money? And also, I think something that I would love to know about is the age in which they can start thinking about this. Is this something that they should say, you know what, I can wait until I'm 30, 40, 50 to do that? Or should they do that now? What do you say to that?
I always think today is better than tomorrow. In general, in life, when you're pursuing anything, today is better tomorrow. Am I better off if I want to be a professional baseball player going to the batting cage is starting tomorrow, or am I better off going today? And I think I think momentum plays a role in all success. And I could talk about in anything. I mean, investing in real estate, certainly I think that there's a momentum point. And I used to teach guitar. I taught guitar for many, many years. And there's an enormous difference between a student who would practice half an hour a day every day and a student who would practice 3.5 hours the day before he or she came and saw me. It's very hard to build momentum from zero and start over, and you start building. So an early start and being consistent, I think, are crucial.
So what about the person that did not do that, and they're later in their age, and they feel it's too late? Yeah, I already have a 401k. I don't need to do anything else.
Well, I can totally relate to that, because my wife and I found ourselves at 44 years old when I got in this industry. We'd always been really good with our money. We'd saved some money, but we had never invested. So we weren't building any momentum toward building wealth for the future. And I think it's never too late to start. You're always going to be better off in 5 years if you do it today. I don't care what today is. If it's 30 years old or if it's 80 years old, you're going to be better off in 5 years starting today.
With the clients that you've seen, and I mean, you've been doing this for, several years, give us some wins that you've had. Some wins that you can look back and say, man, I was part of that.
Sure. A couple of very recent ones this year. I have one client that has something called a fixed index annuity. So this is a tool that can grow based on the market growth, but protect this person's wealth when markets go down. She got a 13.78% interest credit this year. And that was money coming out of an old 401k that was not growing at all, hadn't grown really in a decade. We got a 13.78%, and that is locked in because her money isn't actually in the market. So if markets go down, she won't lose a cent. I have another client that got on an indexed universal life insurance policy 28.3% return this year.
Wow. Yeah. So using that, let's talk about the risk in that. Mm-hmm. I don't really believe there is a lot of risk, but let's expand on that.
Sure. There are a couple of risks. If markets were to go down for many years, just like as your money was in the market, there are some costs internally that would keep coming out, right? So really to maintain that, you need about probably a 2 to 3% growth in the market, but anything over now can be just pure profit in the account. So what it does, though, is, I'll give you an example. In 2022, when the markets were really bad, none of my clients lost a cent due to the market downturn. But as markets started improving in 2023 and 2024, they got growth as if they'd been in the market, but they never had to take the losses from the bad year.
Got it. So once again, it's that difference that you're looking at.
Yep.
All right. This is important just for, like we said a bit earlier, is just making sure that everyone out there just knows different things they can do. Really, that financial literacy is a big piece. What are some things that some of your clients or people who may be your clients should do now before they contact you in regards to, financial literacy? Are there some books they should read, or there's some, what would you recommend? Yeah,
I think there are some great books. I would say don't wait to contact me, though. I'm a big believer in action today. Again, I believe all success is built on momentum. Momentum starts with motion. Right. So you can't steer a parked car, but as you start taking action steps, you can adjust what you're doing. Which kind of takes me. I didn't finish my point before. I derailed myself. One of the important things that I think people are lacking when they just have a 401k is there's no overarching plan. They're not looking at where do I want to wind up financially. They're just saying, okay, I'm putting money here, so I'll be okay. will you? Right? And you mentioned about people having to go and have a second career.
Right.
But books, to answer your question, The Richest Man in Babylon, I don't know if you've ever read that, is one of, I think, maybe the best book ever written on building wealth. It's conceptual, very easy, and it's a fun read. It's kind of almost told like biblical parables.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a really great read. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, especially the first two books, which are
pretty popular.
Oh yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then the Cash Flow Quadrant. The Cash Flow Quadrant I found eye-opening when I read it. So I think those are great books.
So you can read, you can, do your research, but the biggest thing that you can do is to get on that phone, call Neal, or call someone that can help you get your dreams to becoming reality. You cannot wait for it just to happen. Just like Neal just said earlier, you can say, hey, I have a 401k and I'm probably going to have X amount of money, but you never really sat down and said, this is how much I'm going to need to live comfortably. What does living comfortably mean? What it means to me may not be what it means to you. What it means to someone that lives in Texas may not be the same as someone that lives in Long Island, New York. So it really it's you sitting down with your spouse or whoever, your loved one, and just saying, okay, this is where we want to be in the future. Now that you know where you want to be, let's get you there. If someone wants to contact you, how do they do that?
They can reach me on my cell phone. My cell phone number is 281-229-5000. And I'll be happy to answer any questions they have, even if they're not looking to become a client. I'm here to help people. If I can help them, I'm happy to do so.
Outstanding. Earlier today, we also talked about your goals, your business goals for next year. You talked about bringing more agents in. Mm-hmm. Why do you need more agents?
Well, there's so much that needs to be done. I mentioned the average savings in 401ks is not going to cut it, and nobody has a plan. So few people have a plan for their financial future, and we educate people about tools that wealthy people have been using for many, many years. Most people outside of the wealthy class just haven't been being taught about them, but they have access to them.
Right.
Or they can utilize them when given access to them, might be a better way of saying that. And I think let me say this. When I started here, I was 44 years old, had nothing really going on for retirement, and what we do revolutionized my personal financial life. So we need people to go out and help more people with doing that.
What's your perfect agent?
Oh, boy. All right. Somebody who's definitely two things. Number one, they have to have a heart to help other people. And in my firm, we have a strict rule: the clients win before we do. I know for a fact I've left thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on the table over the years where I could have, quote unquote, closed business, but I didn't think it would have been the best thing for the client. And so I sold way down because I thought that was something that they could maintain longer. And I expect that of my agents. And I don't do it because I believe that long term your reputation will precede you and it'll come back and bless you. But I do believe that. But even if I didn't believe that, I would still expect that of my agents. And number two, they have to want more out of life. Understand that this is a fantastic industry. It's the highest paid industry in the world. It has blessed my life and my family's life in ways I could never have dreamt of. But it's not always the easiest industry. You've really got to be ambitious. But we also specialize in helping people start from outside of the industry and learn the industry.
I love it. So if you're two things, if you're a client or you may be a client and you're thinking about your future, call Neal. If you're interested in becoming an agent, call Neal also. But before you make that call, just look in the mirror and say, do I have a heart for people? And do I care about making sure that people win? It's not about you. You want to make sure your clients win. Once again, this is Neal and
Neal.
All right. This is Lyndel from High End Homes Handle Right, the Real Property Management Luxury Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Lyndel Johnson. Neal middle name, so that's why we're saying this Neal back and forth. But it was a great time. Thank you for being here. And if I don't see you before Christmas and New Year's, have a great time with your family and stay blessed. Once again, thank you again. Have a great day.